Digital Diary, entry 13, slid one to one. Happy New Year, but you me. Happy New Year. Um, I hope the start of this year has been great for you, Okies. But anyways, today I wanted to talk about accountability, right? Because this is something that I've been struggling with. I feel for most, if not all, of my life. You know, and how like if you're not accountable you won't reach the levels that you wish for yourself, because at the end of the day, in order for you to rise and go further more pillow, you need to hold yourself accountable. you know you need to be able to say, yo, I want to do X and this is how I will achieve X. But if you don't do those things to achieve X, then essentially you'll never get there. So yeah. So my struggles with accountability, I feel, starts from the point where like as much as I always say, yo, I'm always open to criticism and would like to get some criticism, I feel that I don't necessarily take criticism that well. Number one. Number two, it also stems from my um I don't want to say I don't believe in myself or the work that I produce, but sometimes it tends to get to a point where like there's some work that I've done, there's some stuff that we shot, and then in post production I just start getting um I don't know, I feel overthinking it, just looking at the piece and being like, this is not what we had in mind, or this is not what we would like to bring out into the world. So essentially I just talk down on myself, speak negative of myself, only for the people to get the spine and be happy. There's only been like, I think one time when someone caught something and they weren't happy out of all the work that we did last year. And on my side, I felt pretty chuffed. I felt that, you know, I did my best with that span, but client just didn't like it. So I think it's those two things that like mess me over. Where it's like, yo, when it's time to get critique, we put ourselves in a box, or we hide, or we don't respond to messages or any of those stuff. And it's like, yo, dude, in order for you to go further more belong, you need to get some sort of like critique. There's no way that you'll always be perfect. How do you expect to grow if you don't essentially critique yourself? And that's where accountability comes into play. you know uh Oh, there's like Antana who's passing here. Do you wanna be on the camera? Okay. Yeah, so that's essentially where accountability comes into play, you know, where it's like you need, or should I say, I need to hold myself accountable. I need to be able to say, okay, cool. As much as we don't like the work, or we've produced work and the client doesn't like it, or they want changes or whatever, we should be able to be like, oh, okay, cool, take that on the chin and move on. I think a way that we could solve this thing would necessarily be like get an editor, but at the same time, like I don't wanna get an editor only for me to not pay them the money that I feel is fair, because we've worked a lot of jobs and we didn't get paid fairly. So I guess this is something that we have to sort out Gaborona first, work out how we manage, speaking to clients, getting feedback, turnaround times and stuff like that. Like I feel like as much as, you know, the work that I do is a reflection of myself, but I shouldn't make it like essentially the sole defining thing about me. Like, yeah, we might do something that people don't like, but at the end of the day we got those reps in. So I think we also need to have a mindset change where it's like, okay, cool, as much as we're producing work that maybe we didn't like or the client didn't like, but at the end of the day, we got those reps in. That negative feedback is the one that will, be able to take our next job to the next level. Something that just came to mind now on improving is that like we should literally just go into every piece of work with like a short list, know that okay, these are the shots that we want, this is the outcome that we want, this is how we're gonna achieve the outcome we want and stick to that. And again, like just not being afraid to get criticism. We need to look at criticism as not a reflection of ourselves as, a person, but more of a reflection of the work that we produced and how we can take that work to essentially the next level. So yeah, we're just having those battles. That's the battle that I really need to solve now, especially in the beginning of the year, because you never know. There might be some stuff that's gonna come to the table, and then we now have to like, you know, uh, do stuff that is in a team or whatever it is. And we need to be able to communicate properly and hold ourselves accountable when we're not, and essentially improve. We can't keep making essentially the same mistakes. So one thing that I always say to like my brothers, Naledi, or anyone who's willing to listen to me is that like life puts you through like tests, right? It's the same thing in school. You go to school the whole year and then you like have a test at the end of the year. And then in that test you see what did you learn throughout the year. So now if you don't realize that this is the test and you fail the test, then you have to repeat that. So I think that's the test that I've been placed on, like holding myself accountable. Like there's other tests that I feel like I've passed, but this one is one that is still holding me back in a way. I still need to find a way to hold myself accountable and you know um take criticism. So it's not easy to hold yourself accountable, to put a mirror in front of your face and take criticism. But at the end of the day, even from yourself, but at the end of the day, you need to take that, you need to receive that. Not everyone is perfect, no one is perfect, essentially. Even nature isn't perfect. So if that's the case, why do you cower away from you know hearing negative feedback about yourself? And sometimes it all starts and ends in the head. You may not like it, but the client may. And it's like, yo, how do you find that middle ground? So that's something that we are looking to doing this year. I don't know if like this video will help you work out if you're struggling with accountability, but like for me, I think this is like the start of it. Just being able to be like, okay, cool, this is the issue. How do we create like um systems that will allow us to avoid you know finding ourselves in the same situation. So I think the systems should be just having a short list, um taking feedback, whether it's on a call or WhatsApp, just responding to messages and stuff, and then taking it from there, asking people to be like, yo, give me your genuine um take on this and how I can improve, and then going back to the dungeon learning, because at the end of the day, we won't be perfect. But yeah, also just an update on these digital diaries. Given that this is the first digital diary of the year, right? I feel that it's also good to like let you folks know that the format that we had last year, where we'll speak about the month and what happened in the month, we'll kind of like get that. Reason being, like, so I got feedback from my family and friends and stuff, and they felt that I share too much, essentially. So now I'm trying to find a middle ground on like giving you bros um feedback on what's going on in my life, but also at the same time, like not taking out the things that I have planned or things that are going well in my life. So I think we'll like do these digital diaries like topic based, where it's like, okay, this is something that I'm struggling in, or this is something that someone else told me that they're struggling in, and then this is how I feel that we as artistic people can break through that. So yeah, so another year. It's gonna be a super cool year. It's gonna be a year where I achieve a lot of goals, and yeah. What about that? I think the next topic we should speak about is stagnation and how sometimes you may feel stagnant, but you know things are still moving. So Katalabona, and the next one, Happy 2026.